Welcome to the ArmaniTalks podcast. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever and skyrocket your confidence along the way. In today's episode, we're entering the world of creativity, and we're going to be talking about why a lot of creative people are messy. I'm not talking about disgusting, but every now and then, what happens is when my place is a little too polished, I like to make a certain zone somewhat messy. For example, my desk, the desk that I'm recording this podcast on right now. There's a lot of stuff on it. There's my mouse, there's this camera, there's a couple of wires. And sure, I could go ahead and clean it up. But what happens is when it's a little messy, it gets my mind thinking in a different way. Now, you want to be very careful in terms of whatever lesson you're extracting from this. I'm not telling you to get your clean spot and make it messy, but what I am trying to get you to understand is that a lot of creative people, what they do is that they're somewhat unorthodox. It's in some facet of their life that they're unorthodox, and consumers often enjoy it. There's this group called Jesus and Mero, and they talk about a lot of the popular stuff from culture. And I should actually correct myself. They talked about popular stuff from culture because nowadays, unfortunately, they broke up. They started off in the trenches. And this is when they were doing these grainy videos. I believe some of the episodes were recorded via Zoom sessions. I mean, it didn't look good at all. But during that moment, when the content was messy, that's when their fans loved them. It's because Jesus and Mero were so freaking raw. You couldn't predict anything that they were going to say. But as more time went on by, they eventually got signed by Showtime, and what occurred was great production. Showtime hooked them up. They had great lighting, great camera, great seats. And from that moment, you could say that the content became a little bit more diluted. Now, granted, they need to grow. They can't be in their basement recording videos their entire life. But the issue now was that they were a little too mainstream. The production quality was a little too great, and their initial fan base did not resonate with that. I would say one of the fixes could have been, okay, we don't always need to record episodes in such high production. How about this? We do record high production content with Showtime, but we still keep our webcam show going because this will allow us to embrace some messiness in context to our life. Most of my place, if you ever come here, it is spotless. It's very clean, but there's a certain space where I don't want it to be too clean. And I've experimented with this, by the way. There have been times when my desk is too clean, my entire place is too clean, and I just don't feel right. So I'll get a jacket from my closet and I'll just put it on my couch. I make it a little messy. And this environment of a little messy begins to permeate my mind. I can feel a new thought wave entering my mind. And from there, I get myself out of analysis paralysis. So if you're someone that is already going with the flow, everything's going well with your creative journey, then ignore this episode. But if you're someone that, let's say, for some strange reason, you're not able to output some content for the day, and you look around, everything is so polished, you should be able to output some content, right? Maybe not. You see those stack of books that you have? Knock one down to the floor, and suddenly you'll feel certain sensations in your body. Those sensations will allow you to output some content. Don't ask me why this works. All I know is that it works. A lot of creative people are messy because every now and then, a little bit of strategic messiness inspires art. Thank you very much for joining the ArmaniTalks podcast, and I'll catch you next time.